What's up YouTube? It's Pico.Blurred back again with another video. I've been away for a little bit. Last week was my birthday, so I was celebrating my birthday, and then I had to go to a funeral that same week. It was a little bit rough. We had a lot of stuff going on, so I haven't been making content, but I'm back now and I'm ready to release some more content. So I'm making this video for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you could, leave a like, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and hopefully you guys find this video really helpful for you guys as far as your content creation. Now in this video specifically, I'm kind of more talking about posting to YouTube. That's kind of what my big focus is on right now, is building my YouTube, posting content to YouTube. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on mainly in this video. I'll throw in a little bit of information as far as like other social medias, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. But mainly I'm talking about real video content on YouTube because there's a couple settings, there's a couple formats that you need to follow if you want your content to be the best on the platform. Now, I'm going to start out by saying I had no idea what I was doing when I first started doing YouTube. I didn't really look into what I was supposed to be doing. I was just kind of winging it. And I learned from those mistakes. So hopefully I can help you guys with that before you start making those mistakes that I did. You don't want to be doing that. You want to make sure that you're off on the right foot so you can just take off your content creation. So when I first started on my YouTube content creation, I didn't realize that I shouldn't be videotaping in portrait mode, or technically the aspect ratio 9:16. Now I was recording everything because I was focusing a lot on social media back then, and I thought that I could directly take my social media film and post it to YouTube and it'll be fine. Now when I did that, it looked fine on my phone because your phone is made for that, right? But I didn't take into consideration what it would look like on a computer monitor or a TV screen. So as I was posting videos in 9:16 aspect ratio, this is kind of what it looked like. So as you guys can see, it's not the best quality. There's a lot of blank space that's being taken up because it is in portrait mode and not landscape mode. I didn't realize this when I was first making content. So don't do this. Make sure that you're filming your YouTube video content in landscape mode, and that would be technically 16:9, so it's pretty much the opposite. Social media, YouTube Shorts, whatever, in that format, it's gonna be 9:16. If you're filming for YouTube content, it's gonna be 16:9. So this is what I was doing firstly. Like I said, it's not the best quality because of how I was exporting it to YouTube, and also it just doesn't look professional in my opinion. Now take later, as I found out that I wasn't supposed to be doing that, here's what my content looks like now. Now it looks professional. Now it's higher quality. Now you can see what you're supposed to be, what you're looking for as far as you're watching on any platform that you watch it on, whether it be a monitor, whether it be TV, whether it be your phone. So really make sure that when you're posting to YouTube videos that it is in 16:9 landscape mode. It's going to give you the best video experience, and that's what you want to give to people that are looking for your content. You want the best visual experience that catches their eye. You don't want any mistakes, because then they will pick up on that and then they're not going to click your video and watch it. So you want to make sure that it's in this format with high quality, and I'll show you guys all the quality settings in a little bit. But yeah, that's what I started doing. Like I said, I didn't know any better, but now that I do know better, my videos, my content are just way better, way more elevated than they were back when I first started. And when I'm talking about videotaping in portrait or landscape mode, 9:16 or 16:9, this is what I'm talking about. So if you have your phone and you're recording, this would be portrait mode, which is typically in 9:16 aspect ratio. It's good for social media, for your YouTube reels, for TikTok, and for Instagram. They use pretty much all the same settings. So if you want to post on social media, make sure it's in portrait mode 9:16, and it'll fit all those different social media platforms. But for YouTube, you want to switch it over to landscape mode, and that'll be in 16:9. And also, when you're creating your thumbnails for YouTube, they also have to be in 16:9. So make sure that when you're taking a photo to post as your thumbnail, make sure it's in landscape mode, but also make sure that you click in the settings that it is taking the picture in 16:9. And again, I'll show you guys that just to make sure that you know the settings that you need to put to take that thumbnail and take your videos, all the settings, all the formats, aspect ratio, quality of the videos. I'll show you guys all of that, and then I'll show you guys how to export it from CapCut, which I told you guys in another video that I did explaining how to actually make the content. I'm not going to be showing you guys how to make the content in this video, since I already did that in another video. But in this one, I want to show you guys what settings you needed to export it to YouTube, and all the phone settings for the best quality as far as your native camera settings. Alright, so for the best camera settings for your native camera, you're going to want to go to your phone settings. Now, I am using an iPhone 13 Pro Max, so it might be a little bit different than your guys's, but they should have some of the same kind of settings in there. So go to your settings, scroll all the way down until you see camera. Click on camera, and then on the record video setting, I like to put it at 4K at 60 frames per second. I just think that 4K and 60 frames per second just looks the best in my opinion. It looks the smoothest. Some people will tell you to shoot video in 4K at 30 frames. I just like how crisp the 60 frame looks. A lot of people tell you to turn HDR video off. The reason they tell you to do that is because when you're exporting to YouTube, and people are trying to watch it, if some people don't have HDR quality on their whatever they're watching it on, it'll oversaturate it, it'll make it look color washed. So they usually tell you to turn it off so you don't have to actually do anything to the video when you upload it. But I like having HDR video on. It just brings out the best colors when you're videotaping, and I'll show you guys how to combat that that issue with watching it without having HDR on your TV or your monitor. You can easily adjust that, and I just fixed it because I wasn't realizing that I was doing that. Also, I was exporting it with HDR, not realizing that if you don't have an HDR platform, it's going to look over color wash. So I figured out how to change that and make it to where you can have HDR recording and also have good quality when you're exporting it to YouTube. So I like to have HDR on. I turn auto frames per second off. They have settings in here where you can have it auto 30 and 60 frames per second, but I just turn it off just because I don't want it to be switching frame rates as I'm recording. I like to have it at 60 frame rates the whole time, so I make sure I turn that off. Next, you're gonna go into formats. You're gonna click high efficiency. And I don't use the Apple ProRes unless you're gonna be editing it where you can color correct. That's the only reason you'd want to use Apple ProRes. If you do shoot in Apple ProRes and you don't color correct, say for example you don't have a computer with editing software that can correct the color, if you use Apple ProRes, it's going to mute all the colors and you have to go in there and color correct it yourself. So I have Apple ProRes turned off just so I don't have to go in and color correct, because I'm just using my phone to edit videos, to take videos, all that stuff. I don't have a computer that I can do this stuff on, so I'm using what I have. And so do not turn on Apple ProRes unless you have some sort of editing software that can color correct. And then I usually have my grid on just so I know when I'm taking cinematic videos, for example, I kind of have an idea of where my subject is as far as my frame. I have the level turned on right here, just so you know that your video is level and it catches the eye at like most viewing perspectives, right? All right, and one more thing. So you can put it at 40K at 60 frames per second. Now, when you are exporting it, it is going to take a little bit longer to process. So just be aware of that. Usually when I'm uploading to YouTube, because of the processing times, I like to record a video. And if I'm going to export it and make a video on YouTube, I make sure that I schedule it for the next day, so I have plenty of time for it to upload and plenty of time for it to process. So 4K 60 frames per second, when it is processing, it takes a couple of hours, so make sure you allot for that. That's why I like to schedule it, and I schedule it as a premiere. It's good to do that so that people know exactly when your video is going to be posted. If you just schedule it or upload it to YouTube, then unless people have the notification bell on, they're not going to know when your video is posted. So I like to schedule my videos and set it as a premiere so that people get a notification that my video is about to upload. And it'll usually send out that notification around 30 minutes before the video actually posts. So that's a good kind of tip. When you're uploading your content, schedule it, put on premiere so people know exactly when it's going to post. All right, so that's one setting that you can do as far as the 4K at 60 frames per second. You can go into your settings and change that manually in your settings menu for the camera. But you can also change this quick setting in your actual camera app. So let's go ahead and switch it to camera. It's on video like you want it, so I'm going to go ahead and switch it to landscape. I'm holding it landscape now. And up in the top left corner, you see that it says 4K and 60. You can change that from HD, 30 frames, 60 frames, 4K, 24 frames, 30 frames, and 60 frames. So that's how you can change that super quick, super easy. There's a couple other settings. If you click that arrow on the left under your resolution settings, you'll bring up, if you click that plus minus icon, that's going to be your exposure. And I'll talk a little bit about that later on. That lightning bolt down there on the bottom right corner, you can turn the flash on or off depending on your lighting and what you're recording, what the light is going to look like. So we'll go ahead and get out of there. So that's your video settings as far as landscape and your resolution. Now as far as photos, so we're going to slide over to the photo section for your thumbnails. So I am holding it in landscape mode, but as you can see, the aspect ratio, I'll click over there, it's still on 4:3. When you're taking your thumbnails, you want to make sure that you click 16:9. That's what the setting is for YouTube thumbnails. So whenever you're in photo mode and you switch it and you're holding it landscape, make sure you click that setting and make sure that it's on 16:9. Otherwise, when you go to upload your thumbnail, it's not going to be, the aspect ratio isn't going to be correct. So it's going to look off. You're going to have to do all kinds of editing, and it's just not going to look right. So make sure that you click that, make sure it's in 16:9 when you're getting that thumbnail capture. And now that we have all of our settings where we want them to be for the best quality, for the best captures, we're going to go into how to export it from CapCut into YouTube. So let's go ahead and open CapCut. And I'll just go into a previous project that I had already. So here's my project that I'm gonna post. For example, hypothetically, if I was gonna post this, this is what I would do. So here's my video. I just export it straight from my camera roll into CapCut. Now, the setting that I like to have it on, as far as editing, I don't really change a whole bunch. The only thing that I will change is I'll go to this setting down here, adjust. I'll go to sharpen, and I'll usually put that at about 50. I think that's the best quality when you're uploading to YouTube, especially when you're uploading from HDR. So I have that sharpened, and then I make sure that the adjustment is on the whole video. you want to make sure that your setting adjustment is all the way going across. The whole video. And so now we're going to export to YouTube. So at the top right, you'll see where it says 1080p. Go ahead and click that. You want to make sure that you slide it all the way up to 4K. You want to make sure that you slide the frame rate all the way up to 60, and make sure that your smart HDR is on. If that setting is not on, when you go to export it to YouTube, it's just going to have the standard definition. So all your colors that you recorded, to make sure that it's in HDR, it's not going to show up. So it's gonna upload it on SDR, and it's not going to look as crisp. So you want to make sure that your smart HDR setting is on, and then you'll go ahead and click that arrow at the top, and now it's going to export it into your camera roll feed. And when that is done exporting, you're going to go into your photos. You're going to find the video that you just exported, right? So I'm going to take this video, and in there you want to edit it. When you are uploading an HDR video to YouTube, sometimes, like I said, if you don't have HDR settings on the thing that you're watching it on, it will overwash it. So to make sure that it looks good, whether it be your phone, whether it be a monitor, or whether it be a TV, make sure that you go into edit. You'll go to adjust and go to exposure. If you turn down the exposure, it's going to make sure that your colors aren't overwashed, they're not burnt out, and it's still going to get all the colors that you want. And it's going to look good on any format, whether you have HDR settings or you don't have HDR settings. So the best setting that I found when you're exporting it to YouTube is to have it at -38 exposure. So when you do upload it, if you're not watching on an HDR monitor, it's going to look crisp, it's going to look clean. It's not going to expose your video, and it's not going to overexpose your video. It's going to be perfect, it's going to look good, and that's just what you want. So you want to make sure that it's at -38 exposure, and you can change a couple of the other things. Say you want a little bit more pop of color, you can go ahead and go to saturation and play with that around a little bit. I don't usually do that. I like to have the video the way I recorded it. Just make sure that your exposure is at that -38, and you'll be golden. All right, now that your settings are all done, now that your export is all good to go, now it's time to upload it to YouTube. So we'll go ahead into your YouTube app. You'll click that plus at the bottom. Make sure that it's not in short, it's not in live. Make sure that it's on video. We'll go ahead and click a video that you want to upload. I'm going to go ahead and click this video since it's already in that 16:9. It's good to go. We'll go ahead and click next. Now you'll click on this little icon right here. That's going to go your thumbnail settings. So we'll go ahead and click my thumbnail that I want to use. Since it's already in 16:9, we'll go ahead and select that. Click your title, whatever your description. So here is where you want to click where it says public visibility. You want to go ahead and click that, and you'll go and where it says schedule, click schedule. You'll go ahead and pick the date and the time that you want to set it at, and make sure that you click set as premiere. Like I said, you want to click that to make sure that you know that people are going to watch it as soon as it's up. They get a notification 30 minutes ahead, just so they know that the video is going up. And then you'll go ahead and click upload, and that's all you need to do as far as uploading to YouTube. Everything is good. We already checked your settings when you're recording. We already checked your settings and your formats when you are editing in CapCut, when you're exporting it from CapCut, and then we check the settings to make sure that the exposure is going to look good for when you're uploading to YouTube. And that's all the steps when you're uploading content to YouTube. Now I'm going to give you guys a couple examples of when it doesn't look right. This is how it's going to turn out. So this is uploading to YouTube with HDR without fixing the settings that you need to fix. This is what my videos were looking like on a non-HDR optimated system. You see how outwashed it looks. You can't really see details. It's just too saturated, too overexposed. And now this is when you adjust your exposure for your HDR settings. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's a bit different. You can clearly tell all the details of my haircut. It looks crisp, it looks clean. And like I said, you could just see everything. During the other tutorial, when it wasn't corrected, the exposure wasn't corrected, when I was cutting the hair, you couldn't really see what I was doing. It was just too blurry, it was too overwashed. So the saturation and the exposure was too high. You couldn't really see all of my steps, but when you do have it correct, it's just easily readable. Reading it is super easy. You can clearly see what the haircut is actually supposed to look like. And it just looks way better. Alright YouTube, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you could, please leave a like, leave a comment, let me know something that you enjoyed about the video. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate all of the support in helping me grow my channel. Hopefully you guys can take these kind of settings, these tips, from my own personal experience and apply it to your content creation, and hopefully you start to figure out this content creation. I'm trying to help you guys if you're just starting and you're new to content creation, just give you some gems to help you in the long run. You know, not everybody has an idea of what they're doing, so I want to kind of be that person. If you need help, you can watch my videos, and hopefully it'll help you bring your content just up another notch. But it's your boy Pico.Blurred, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh my god, is that Pico.Blurred?